Alright, so this video is going to be pretty long and detailed. I'm not going to go over the basic stuff about this main MakTrak unit by Makita. The marketing has been aggressive. There's a lot of other videos out there that go over the basics. The Makita 18-inch chainsaw does not fit in here. It doesn't go low enough here. Nope, it just... And I was really hoping that the Makita chainsaw would fit in this, but it does not. This is the Milwaukee 16-inch. So this one kind of fits in there. The lid does close. This bar is going to get bent in here. It needs to be secured. My Shinwa saw guide, I really was hoping this would fit in there, and it does not. It is just about an inch too long. I could take this plastic piece off, cut the aluminum extrusion, put the plastic piece on, and make it short enough to fit, but I'm just not gonna do that. So I'm gonna use this by putting this in here. This is 342 millimeters from here to here. Is a nice snug fit. That's about 17 1/32 of an inch to get a nice snug fit that doesn't rattle side to side. This dimension is 399 millimeters. I cut this at 398, and there is just a little bit. I think the actual dimension is 399 millimeters, which is about 15 11/16 inches. So we've got a contour in the floor. This almost covers up that contour, but it does stick out on this side. So from the top of that contour, so that's about 2 1/4 inches or 56 millimeters. The gap under here is about 1 3/8 inches or 36 millimeters underneath of here, and this is 3/4 inch plywood. So yeah, that's 19 millimeters or 3/4 inch plywood. All right, before I start loading this up with tools, it comes with this 10-inch divider. So from this raised part of the floor to here, this is 10 inches. And that comes almost exactly to the top of the lid when you close it. Since I'm going to do a false floor in here, I can't use this divider. They make another divider, another 8-inch divider that I believe goes flat here. So if I had the false floor in here, the 8-inch divider would sit flat against that false floor. But they don't include that. All right, so what is this thing that I made? So this is the Makita Recip GRJ02. This is the XGT. Everything I own from Makita is XGT, 40 volt. I don't have any 18 volt Makita. This has to be fully retracted. It fits right up into that corner, and there's just a tiny amount of play there, but it fits in there really nicely. There's room here for up to an 8 amp hour battery right here. Or with this notch cut out here, I can fit another impact in here like that. Doesn't really fit in that way. It's got to go in this way with no battery. I really don't like the way this moves around in here. Things are going to get a little bit banged up. But I could put some foam or something in there. But there is room there. So then this tray fits in here. I feel like there's about 2 inches of wasted space under here. So if I put this in there, okay, that's too thick. These are Plano boxes, so these, actually I can fit 2 of them there. So there's a fair bit of room underneath here. These are blades. These are 125 millimeter blades. You know, those can fit under here. The other thing I could do is glue some foam on this so that when this tray is in, it pushes down on these tools and holds them in place. I have the big dual charger. So this can fit in here like this. It fits in here pretty nicely. It pushes all the way to one side, leaves a lot of room here for like longer recip blades, things like that. I thought maybe I could fit a pen impact in here, but I can't really do that. You know, so this can put a level in there, can put some screwdrivers in there. Might be able to tuck a couple of recip blades back here. If you don't have this charger, I kind of don't like the way this single charger fits in here. So the cord's on the side, not on the back, but it fits in there like that. You can't put it here, and you can't put it here because these pieces taper down, so it doesn't fit there. Doesn't fit there. You kind of got to put it right in the middle, and then you can fit up to a 5 amp and an 8 amp. That's a little snug. If you put it in like this, it just seems like there's a lot of wasted space. That's an 8 amp. A lot of space here. Yeah, all right, so then we've got the Makita XGT GS004G, and I made that fit right in there like that. So here's a 4 amp hour battery. That fits in there no problem. Here's the 5 amp hour. Starts to get a little crowded. It fits in there, but I don't like the way it pushes on the guard. So 4 amp hour fits just fine in there. I've got my imported Makita KS004G. This is a little 125 millimeter Makita. 2.5 amp hour battery in there. I don't think I can put a 4 in there. Oh yeah, okay, I can. Then what happens to the drill? Okay, all right. I can put a 4 in there if I want to. So then I've got my blade left saw. So this is the small dust shield and this is the large dust shield. 4 amp hour battery in the tool. That fits in here. Uh-oh, I gotta go in like that, nose first, so that everything sits in there. All right, and then this shield I can just put in here. You know, this shield I could probably put under here. I can put it over here. This is the purple Makita or the JDM imported Makita Impact. This is a 4 amp hour battery. I can fit this in here. It kind of tucks in that way. I have to put this in first, and then I can put in the drill with a 4 amp hour battery even. That'll fit right in there like that. Okay, these two do bump into each other a little bit. It's not too bad. All right, and then that closes up. Doesn't close up. So with this hook on here, pushes the drill up on this slanted part, and it pushes the drill up too high. So I got the hooks on opposite sides. So let's look at this one. Does that close? Yeah, that closes, but it's a little... Oh, it's tight because I added this. Yes, so this is the brace that you can put in here to hold the lid open. I just happen to have these thumb screws. I ran a tap into here to make it easier for the thumb screws to hold in and out. And then I just put that there like that. It already had, this metal brace already had the holes drilled in it, but I did have to make the holes bigger just because of these thumb screws that I had laying around in a junk drawer. And then I put some O-rings on the thumb screw so I didn't have to spend so much time screwing them in and out. All right, so that's what I decided to do with that, because I've already lost track of this once and then found it. So I wanted this in here. This really wants to be a 2.5 amp hour. Yeah, so fits better with a 2.5 amp hour. Let's see if I can get away with the hook on this side and have the 2.5 amp hour. Yeah, then it works. And there is room for another battery under here, and then the drill can go in like that. So I've got enough batteries for everything. That battery under there can go on the recip. Let's see here, can I fit the 5 amp hour under there? No. Oh, maybe, no. Oh, maybe, yes. Yes, I think I can. Okay, now, all right, everything fits. Only modification that I had to make was this handle sits just a little bit higher than this surface of this lid. So I had to cut this, and then I used a heat gun to bend this plastic. So this comes down and it's kind of springy and it holds this handle down. So that was the one semi-destructive modification that I had to make. If I don't want to do the drill, I don't think this will fit with the 4 amp hour. I did have this in here before. I checked it. Okay, it's a tight fit, but that does fit in here, the blower instead of the drill. I don't think the drill is going to fit. If I go that way, it does fit. So that's how the drill is setting in there. So that is one possibility. That's a lot of tools and a lot of batteries. Up here, what I was going to do, I was going to use this Velcro and screw these Velcro straps into these holes. So these holes are for number 8 bolts. If you run a number 10 tap through these, you can use number 10. So number 8 or number 10 really works in here. This is a number 8 machine screw. And that was fresh plastic, brand new. So that's basically how I've started to kit out my Makita MakTrak. So that closes up. I do really like the fact that this lid opens from both sides. It's already been handy just here in my garage. I have not had this out in my truck yet. It's pouring rain outside, so I'm not going to show you how it goes in and out of the back of my truck. I think there's plenty of videos that show that, but there is one more thing that I will show. If you have the Makita brushless planer, this is a really nice planer, by the way, way better than the Milwaukee. So the planer won't fit in here this way. It's too tall. This doesn't close. If you tip it on the side and make some kind of foam insert to protect it, it still doesn't quite fit. But if you take off this guard so that it's like that, it actually does fit in there like that. So that's just an FYI. When I was working on this in my garage, one of the things I realized about this is that when it's laying flat, I had a tendency to use this as kind of an MFT surface. I don't know if Makita is thinking about accessories, but if they made a a slide-on, clip-on MFT surface that came over the edges a little bit so that you can clamp material on here. That would be super handy. You know, like something like this. Gonna want it to hang over the edges so it's easy to use any kind of a clamp on it, but it would be really handy if it clipped into this. And actually, even if it was made so that it could be left on here, I think this would be really handy to have. So this is the Makita KS004G 8.5 inch miter saw. I love this thing, by the way. It's light, it's easy to carry, and it happens to sit right on top of this Milwaukee pack-out stack just fine. I had some nice casters laying around. I mounted these to this Milwaukee mounting plate. So I don't know what the actual height is with the official Milwaukee caster base for the pack-out stack. What I noticed is this was almost set up perfectly for an outfeed table. If I add 3/4 of an inch to this, for me, this ends up being almost a perfect outfeed table. I can move that thing all the way up. Looks like 92 centimeters or 36.25 inches is what this is. If you have heavy material on this, it's going to push it, it's going to fall over. But if you had something you could clip on here that had a roller in it, that might be kind of cool. You'd have to figure out how to make the height of this just right, but I just wanted to show that. I just kind of got thinking about how this could be used for outfeed, for whatever that's worth. Oh, this wasn't a super in-depth review of the Makita MakTrak. There's tons of videos out there already about this. The marketing on this has been aggressive. I know for me, I like seeing videos about how people specifically are using these, especially customizing them. I thought, you know what, I'll put my video out there, and if you're on the Makita platform, I hope that I gave you some ideas. I'm just trying to share ideas. Feed the algorithm for me. Stay tuned, and thank you for watching.